People who say that reading children's books as an adult is somehow childish or immature are stupid. Welcome to my channel. My name is Olga and I'm an English learner who talks about learning techniques, vocabulary, and different ways to improve fluency. Last time, I shared a few tips on how to start reading in English. And today, I'm gonna share a few recommendations with you. Really fun and easy English books that are so fantastic to get into. Book number 1, Winnie the Pooh by A.A. Milne. It's a kind of book that you want to read on a rainy day, like wrapping yourself up in a blanket and sipping a hot cup of tea. It's such a heartwarming book that you'll definitely enjoy. It's a story about many creatures, like Winnie the Pooh, a bear who loves to eat, Piglet, who's very anxious and nervous all the time, Eeyore, who's a very melancholic and pessimistic person, not a person, a donkey. And I don't want to admit it, but I relate to Eeyore way too much. The language is easy, and the best thing about this book is that the plot is very episodic. So we have one chapter, one little story, the second chapter, another little story. And you can finish the book in a week or two if you read just one chapter a day. For all my Russian watchers, the Soviet cartoon that we enjoyed so much as children is so close to the original. I was really surprised. It didn't have this boy, Christopher Robin, but everything else was on point. And let me share one quote from the book so that you can get a taste of the language. It is more fun to talk with someone who doesn't use long, difficult words, but rather short, easy words like, "What about lunch?" The second book is Mary Poppins by Pamela Travers. So again, we have memorable characters, easy language, adventures, so many adventures in different worlds, and in the main setting, England, London. So it's a fantastic setting, and we have characters like Mary Poppins, who is a nanny, and she takes care of children, the Banks family. And I cannot say that I really loved the children. Okay, they were okay, but I enjoyed the confidence Mary Poppins had in herself. And we can really learn from her. Being confident in ourselves is important. So let me share a quote. Mary Poppins was very vain and liked to look her best. Indeed, she was quite sure that she never looked anything else. Book number 3, Matilda by Roald Dahl. I have a weak spot for characters who really love books, so Matilda is one of them. It's a story of a child who is a precocious child, a genius child, but who was neglected in her childhood by her parents. So she takes her education into her own hands and reads a lot. The story is engaging. The writing is pretty unique, but very easy to read and so much fun. Here's a quote. So Matilda's strong young mind continued to grow, nurtured by the voices of all those authors who had sent their books out into the world like ships on the sea. These books gave Matilda a hopeful and comforting message. You're not alone. Book number 4, Wren to the Rescue by Sherwood Smith. I actually prefer the Russian version of the cover, this one. It's so much better. It's a story that has girls' friendship, princesses, adventures, magic, and so much more, and I enjoyed it so much as a child. I read it in translation as a kid, and then I reread it in English as an adult, and I really enjoyed it. The language is simple, the plot is not very complex, but it's so engaging. We have an orphanage and 2 girls, one of them is a princess, and the other one is just a girl, our main protagonist, and she's very brave and feisty. And she's also a dog for the majority of the plot of the book. Here's a quote. Maybe I'm no longer a dog, but I still can bite. Book number 5, Howl's Moving Castle. There is a chance that you watched a very popular Japanese adaptation of this book by Hayao Miyazaki, and it's wonderful, though it's not that close to the book itself. The book is a totally different thing, but they're both great, and I highly recommend you checking out the both versions, the book and the movie. It's a story about Sophie, a young adult, so it's not technically a children's book, it's more like a young adult book, probably, but it's easy to read. So we have Sophie, who's a young adult, but she's in the body of an old lady because a witch came to her and transformed her into this old lady. The writing is amazing, and it's so enjoyable and engrossing, and we have a love story. We don't have a lot of love stories in children's books, for the obvious reasons, but it's a love story, and it's a very enjoyable love story. Howl, our main hero, can be really annoying. He's a man-child who cannot take care of himself in the domestic sphere, but he can be such a cinnamon roll. He's adorable as a character, and Sophie is adorable, and all the characters are awesome, and this book should be on your radar, like right now. Here's a quote. Howl's voice was presently heard, shouting weakly, "Help me! Someone! I'm dying from neglect up here!" Now you have it. Have you read any of the books I mentioned? Has any of them piqued your interest? Thank you so much for watching. And if you found this video useful, click on the like button. And I'll see you in my next video with some awesome language content. Bye! She's a girl. She's more like a teenager. No, I don't remember her age. Ah.